Hey beautiful YouTubers, so Lyra is about to take her morning nap, and I thought it would be fun to read her a little story, and this is not just any story, this is a story I wrote. It's the prologue to a Star Wars fan fiction, but I just thought it would be fun. It gets a lot darker, and not really appropriate for little babies, but the prologue chapter is not bad at all, so I will read that. And mind you, Yoda is in this chapter, and I cannot do a Yoda voice to save my life, so I'm not even going to try, but I'm going to read to you all. And I haven't read this chapter in a while. The blue-silver medical droid with bright cerulean eyes floated over to two men. One had medium skin with hair as dark as night, with the dress of a diplomat. The other was a modestly dressed, slightly more aged man with dirty blonde hair. The latter was a Jedi, proven by the lightsaber in his belt. Both expressions were solemn. "Medically, she's completely healthy," the droid explained to them. "For reasons we can't explain, we are losing her." The black-haired diplomat frowned, rolling his head in thought. "She's dying," the Jedi said, finding the words hard to believe. "We don't know why," the droid continued. "She has lost the will to live. We need to operate quickly if we are going to save the babies." I'm sure you remember that scene from the movies, guys. "Hidden, safe, the children must be kept," decided a small green alien creature who clearly had some moral high ground compared to the diplomat and the Jedi from before. "We must take them somewhere where the Sith will not sense their presence," the Jedi added. "Split up, the children should be," the creature decided. "My wife and I will take the girl," the diplomat offered, a slight smile on his face as if a long-awaited dream had come true. "We've always talked of adopting a baby girl. She will be loved with us." The human Jedi nodded, as did the green creature. The latter's robes resembled the Jedi's, so it was safe to assume he was a follower of the Force as well. "And what of the boy?" the human Jedi asked. "To Tatooine," said the green Jedi. "To his family sent him." The other Jedi took a moment of thought. "I will take the child and watch over him," he said after a pause. At that, the diplomat and the human Jedi rose to their feet. The green creature of the Force had a last note to give Obi-Wan. "Until the time is right, disappear we will." And there's like a page break, next section. And that part is obviously straight from the movies, just to kind of give you time period. It's 19 BBY, which is before the Battle of Yavin, obviously the day Luke and Leia were born. Here's the next little part. The dark-haired diplomat returned to the medical center and took one last look at the now deceased woman who he was speaking to the medical droid about before. The same medical droid approached the man. "Senator Organa, is there anything else you would like to know?" The same medical droid asked. Senator Organa shifted his weight and stroked his beard unsurely. "What is the extent of your scientific abilities when it comes to harvesting a woman's eggs?" the diplomat asked. The droid paused a moment. "Extensive. What exactly do you wish us to do, sir?" "Is it possible to harvest this woman's eggs and create a female child?" "The children she had would be in grave danger if their identities were ever discovered. I will be taking the girl, and in order to make sure she is protected, I may need a decoy, a child carried by the surrogate who is clearly a child of this woman." "Sir," the droid said, "may I suggest an artificial womb? If you're planning on using this child as your decoy, as you say, the artificial wombs available are based on the cloning system developed by Jango Fett. In these artificial wombs, it is now possible to speed up or slow down the growth process." Senator Organa grimaced, disgusted that he would have to resort to this, making a dead woman's baby, but knowing above anything that he had to protect his newly adopted daughter. 4 weeks later. Senator Organa greeted a medical droid. "You've returned." "Yes," said the diplomat. "I trust the decoy child has been born by now?" The droid hesitated, then consulted another droid before returning to the senator. "There has been an error, sir." "Is the child all right?" Organa asked urgently. The thought that something could have gone wrong with this life he himself had ordered the creation of clearly pained him. "The child is perfectly healthy," assured the droid. "There is simply an error in our operations. Rather than speeding the conception to more closely meet the age of Miss Padme's other daughter, we have slowed it down." The droid led the senator to a small contraption similar to a Bacta-tank, showing a tiny creature inside with a cord attached. It was the artificial womb the droid had spoke of at their last meeting. In an attempt to alter the process so that the rapid aging would stop as soon as the child was removed from the womb at term, the subject did not respond as expected and instead will take up to 8 years to come to term. And after those 8 years, how will the child age? The senator asked. Normally. That, sir, is certain, the droid promised. Organa bit his lip. Is there a father, or do you make that artificial too? He asked. The child was produced with the mother's egg and the sperm of an anonymous donor, the droid explained. The father is unknown to us. Organa nodded slowly. As explained before, the senator began, when the child comes to term and is born, she will be sent to Alderaan. Though she may not be the decoy I anticipated, I've now seen an error in my ways and do not approve of how I created this child just to protect my own. I will ensure that this child is safe no matter what. She's my responsibility. Of course, sir, the droid responded. At that, he floated out of the room. Senator Organa took one last look at the artificial womb and the tiny bud of a child inside. The label on the tank read, Female Child Nabiri. Organa frowned and rubbed the female child part of the name away. He took a nearby writing utensil and replaced it with a real name. The label now read, Tess Nabiri. And that's the end of the prologue to my fanfiction called Daughter of a Dead Woman. Not exactly a baby story, but Lyra just likes to hear me read. And if you guys enjoyed that, let me know if you want to read more, because I will. If you want me to read more, because I will. I'll put the link in the description if you'd rather read it yourself. But, yeah, I had a dream a while ago, like almost a year ago now, that I was Luke and Leia's long-lost sister, and it explained it so well. That entire section was, like, explained in the dream, and I was just amazed that, my subconscious could have come up with that. So I wrote it down, and 70,000 words later, it's one of the pretty popular alternate universe Star Wars fanfictions. And I'm pretty proud of it. Got about 60 chapters in, and I'm still working on it. But yeah, let me know if you liked it. Love you guys. Bye.